Thank you so much. And I have some important things to say, but one of the most important is how much I admire each and every one of you. Because if I had to pick any place to work, it would be Building Bridges, and it's because of you. It's because of who you are. Because although our clinic is a beautiful building, if none of us were in the clinic, it would just be an empty place. It would have beautiful offices and great therapy materials, but it would just be lifeless. So it's each one of you who gives it life. It's each one of you who gives it value, and it's each one of you who gives it purpose. And it is my honor to work with you and to be your director, and I thank you. I thank you for being you, and I thank you for doing the job that you do. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I have a tradition, and my tradition is always to thank a few people. One, I would like to thank Lorraine Zaksik, if you'd stand. So for those of you who don't know, Lorraine Zaksik and Don Zaksik, who are Stephanie's parents, started the clinic. They started the clinic over 25 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah, and it was just Lorraine, and I was the first therapist that she hired, and the rest is history. So I thank you, Lorraine, for really putting down the roots for Building Bridges, and I thank you. I want to thank Brad and Stephanie, but I just want to talk about Brad a little more than I usually do. And the reason is because I have worked with Brad closely now for, I don't know how many years I've been the director, let's say 5, sounds good to me. And I couldn't admire anyone any more than I admire him. He is a man of personal integrity. He cares very much about you, very, very much. And he does anything to make a wonderful place for us to work and for our families to come. The building really was his baby. I mean, we gave him some information to help him a little bit, but really, mostly anything good was Brad's brainchild. So I love working with you, Brad. You're creative, you have integrity, your heart is for the children and the families, and just as equally for the staff, and thank you so much for everything.
Amen.
And of course, Stephanie is fantastic. She and I, sometimes we close the door in my room and we just have fun. We just talk. And we just have fun and we talk. So she is quite a woman, and I'm very honored to work with both Brad and Stephanie. So, what I usually do is we have a holiday tradition. I think I started about 5 years ago. I gave Brad this. If you go to his office, you'll see a picture in there, and it says that what we do at Building Bridges, as we are the bridge. We help people, we help families cross the bridge from wherever they start to wherever they're going. And I said a little spiel, and from then on, I kept talking. So my tradition now is to put a charge for 2018. When I look at as a clinical director, when I look at our clinic, I'm thinking, what would really help, what could we do that would help us in 2018? So, I'd like you to listen carefully. I'm going to start out by saying, excellence is more than what you do. Excellence is also who you are. You know that my buzzword is excellence, and I say it over and over, so because I hope you'll think about it whenever your mind is at rest. So let me explain. When I say excellence is more than what you do, it also is who you are. So you could be really good at what you do, because excellence definitely is part of what you do. But it is more than doing your specific job. Excellence is also the presence or absence of some personal skills. Personal skills that we all need to do our job well. And personal skills that will impact our success in our career. So what I'd like to convince you today is that if we neglect personal growth, we will just naturally have barriers to our professional excellence, because personal growth will directly impact your professional excellence. So let me just give you an example. We've all heard of the doctor who is really good at what he does. He is a very good doctor. He can heal you. He's very competent medically, but he has poor bedside manner, which means that this really good doctor who has poor bedside manner is having trouble communicating with his patients and connecting with them and maybe having compassion for them. Which is my point, is that he did not personally grow in that area. So these areas have become a barrier to his professional excellence. I'm sure that we've all gone to doctors who just don't have good side manner. And forever, that's what he'll be, a good doctor who doesn't have good bedside manner. So to further illustrate, actually, if you've ever heard Dr. Werner talk, he's very open about himself, and he's vulnerable, and I respect that so much. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take you on my own road of personal growth, and I'm hoping that it will help. I'm hoping that it will help you think about your own road to personal growth. So I have been a speech pathologist and a director, but my whole career thus far has been 37 years. So for 37 years, I have worked on two things: my professional growth and my personal growth. When I first became a speech pathologist, I really dealt with a lot of feelings of inadequacy. I thought, I can't do this, I'm so stupid, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know apraxia from dysarthria. I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing. And I think that self-image was my personal barrier to professional excellence. Because Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. So I said to myself, I cannot live this way. I have to do something. So I worked very hard at changing the way I think. Because if you change the way you think, then your behavior will follow. I spent a lot of time working on not having self-rejection, and giving myself time and saying, okay, I can do this, I just need some more time. So I always worked on my professional growth, but I had to work on my personal growth. If you know me at all, you know now that spills over to me being a director. Because if someone is new, I will say to them, and it doesn't matter where you are, if you feel bad about yourself, I will always say, give it time. You need time to develop. You have to accept yourself where you are and go on. So if I hadn't worked on that, I wouldn't have been a good speech therapist, and I definitely wouldn't have been a very compassionate director. Then there are two other things that I really struggled with, and that one of them was boundaries. If a demanding parent came to me and said, I want to change the goals. I don't want my son sitting there. I want to watch you every second. I want to change the goals again. I want you to speak louder. I want you to speak softer. I would just say, oh, okay. And it would just drive me crazy. I really was their captive. I was their captive because I could not set boundaries. So the inability to set boundaries was my barrier to professional excellence. The other thing I wasn't good at was speaking up. Now that you know me now, 37 years later, maybe you can't imagine, but if I'm able to speak in front of you, it's only because of personal growth. That's the only reason. So what I did was, I said to myself, have you ever really wanted to say something, or you really disagree with someone and you just can't get it out? And that was me. And I said, I have to work on this. These two things, setting boundaries and speaking up, what I call now in myself is having a voice were very, very difficult for me. I went to a coach. I went to a personal coach for 3 years. I hated going. But I knew I had to. Sometimes I'd lie and I'd say, you know, I got a headache, I can't come today. Because I found that it was very, very difficult for me. And I had to do it. The way that I learned it, though, was through experience. So I had the concept, but then I had to apply it. So those things, at that time, not having a voice was a barrier to my professional excellence. The other thing that has always plagued me is fear. I have had a lot of fear in my life, or you could say anxiety. So I have had fear about, if in the therapy world, about delivering a difficult message to a parent. I was afraid of how they would react, and I was afraid that they would be unhappy or sad, and I just couldn't do that to somebody. So what would happen is I would either water down my message or I would avoid it. So there, my fear was a barrier to my professional excellence. I had to work on fear. Again, the key was changing the way I think, because if I can change the way I think, then I can change the way I behave. And my last thing that I've worked on a lot are my words. Negative words, gossip, judgment, all that. I think it just comes naturally to people. Maybe not you guys, but it sure comes naturally to me. And I realized, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a person who spreads poison. I want to be a person of integrity also. This was especially important when I became a director, because I want all of you to trust me. I don't want to say something in my office when the door is closed about and then come out and say, oh, hi, how are you? You know, I wanted to be the same person that I was behind the door as I was in front. I want to tell you, I wasn't always that way. I wasn't. I had to really work on it. That has been hard because some habits die hard, but I went through a journey of personal growth because I did not want my words to be a barrier to my professional excellence. So I want to bring you around to 4 principles for personal growth. One is, there's a myth out there that your personal growth will improve with age and experience. That's not true, because that will lead to number 2, which is you have to make the decision to go after personal growth. Then age and experience can help you. I want to use our core values. So at Building Bridges, we have core values. One is being a force for good, respect, integrity, and excellence. When we are younger, our parents teach us personal skills, personal growth. For being a force for good, we start out with teaching our kids to be helpful. So we'll say, take that out for Grandma and Grandpa, put it in their car. Help your brother or sister with their homework. We're teaching them to be helpful. With respect, I used to tell my kids, I am your mother, you will respect me, and you will treat me with respect. And I will do the same for you. For integrity, we tell our kids, don't lie, and if you say you're gonna do something, darn it, you better do it. And excellence, when you're in school, do your homework and get good grades. So we have our parents, hopefully, guiding us for the 18 years we're with them. And then, boom, we're on our own, and no one is watching us. So it's at that moment that we each have to decide that I am in charge of my own personal growth. The decision is what makes a person change. It's responsibility. As you go along the way, there are plenty of people that can help you. I had my coach. You could have your friends. You could have someone who you feel that you feel is wise, but the work is on you. It's all on you. That can help you, but the decision to change your behavior is all on you. The next thing I want you to know about personal growth is it is a long road. I told you on purpose that I have done this for 37 years. If you have known me when I was most of your age, you wouldn't have ever thought that I would be a director. Never, ever. Just trust me on that. So what I want you to realize is that if you are in this room, if you're 37 years or younger, from the day you were born, when you went to preschool, when you went to elementary school, middle school, high school, when you graduated from college and you got your job and you got your own apartment, I have been working all those years on this road. So I want you to realize it is a long, difficult road. It is not for the weak of heart. It is definitely not. And the last thing I would like to tell you about personal growth is that if you heard my story, which I just told you about the boundaries and the fear, if you're not sure what to work on, look at your career, and if you feel like you're doing something really well in your career, you have the skills you need, but something is off, it's probably a personal growth issue. So let your career, let your job tell you what you need to work on, as I did. Let you think about that for 1 second. So in closing, this is what I would like to say. I would like you with me to be totally convinced that personal growth and professional growth are the only ways, when you combine them together, that you will impact the way that you want, that you'll impact children and families. If for some reason you do not buy into personal growth and do not do the work, you will definitely hit a wall. In fact, we might just be like the doctor who's really good at what he does, but he has poor bedside manner. And I don't want that for us. What I'd like to do is challenge us in 2018, each one of us, to look at our career and say, what is my personal barrier to professional success? And I would like us each to pick one, and this coming year to take the journey together to work on developing that. It's just the beginning. You have many more years to do it. If you would like, just email me and let me know what it is. Because what I'd like to leave you with is, please make sure that you know that excellence is more than what you do, but it is also who you are. Thank you.